Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie. I'm also known as Rosie_curly_crown on Instagram. Make sure you follow me there. I'll go ahead and put the link below so you can definitely follow me on Instagram. But thank you so much for clicking on this channel. I greatly do appreciate it. This is actually my first YouTube video. I'm very excited to just be connecting with all of you guys. I know that you guys have been asking me on Instagram to start a YouTube channel to just better guide you guys with your natural hair journey. And at first I was a little bit hesitant just because I never really thought about doing a channel, but the more I thought about it, I thought about how important it is to just be that guidance to all of you who's definitely transitioning. So I said, you know what, Rosie, let's just go ahead and just do it. So here we are. So this video I will be providing just tips in regards to how I transitioned and the best way to go about it, but more importantly, just kind of uncover the emotional components that you will be going through while you are transitioning, because this is not an easy journey, and it definitely was not easy for me. There was a lot of tears, a lot of frustration that I dealt with during that year of transitioning, and I think it's really important that we uncover those components because it's the reality of transitioning. And I think because I went through it and thankfully I was successful with transitioning, I just think it's just really important for me that I am providing you with that information in hopes that I can help you with your journey. So if you do like this video, which I really hope you do, make sure that you comment, like, and of course subscribe to this channel. I will definitely be posting more videos in regards to my DIY treatments, how I conduct my wash and goes, and just all things natural hair, in hopes of helping you and guiding you as well. So with that being said, let's get started. I do have my trusty notebook here. I have been documenting my journey extremely detailed for the last, well, since I started in February of 2017. So I have tons and tons of notes. And in regards to the tips that I want to share with you guys, I wanted to make sure that I do stay on track. So it's why I have my notebook. So if I am looking down, I do apologize. I just kind of want to make sure that I stay on track. So I hope you don't mind. So let's get started. So what I did is I just created what I call tips for transitioning outline. So it's just some outlines that I just kind of put together to just kind of help you and guide you while you are transitioning. So one of the first things that I did when I decided that I was going to transition is that I needed a schedule. That's just kind of how I work. For me, it's especially important that there is a schedule, you know, something visual that I can see, so it just kind of helps me plan out what it is that I need to do. And to me, the hair schedule was easy for me to create just because at the time that I started transitioning, I was in graduate school, and that was tough. But I stayed very disciplined with school because everything was very outlined and I was very strict when it came to my school schedule. So I just kind of applied that mentality to creating a hair schedule. So the hair schedule is just going to pretty much help you stay on track. For me, I wash my hair every Sunday. I call it self-care Sunday, and that day is the day that I take to myself. I pretty much shut out everybody in the world. I turn off my phone, I put it on do not disturb, and I just pretty much dedicate the entire day to just washing my hair. Now that I'm fully natural and I do have a lot of hair, it's very thick, it really does take me the entire day. While I was transitioning, it really didn't take me the entire day just because I was not really styling it because it just looked terrible. You know, I had all these stringy dead ends. Those who follow me on Instagram, I've posted plenty of pictures of how my hair looked like when I was transitioning, and I just couldn't style it. It just looked bad. But you know, so that's why it didn't take me the entire day. You know, I made sure that I wash, I deep condition, and then I would just kind of put it in braids, let it dry, and then I just put it in a bun. In 2017, that was the only hairstyle that I did, was just nothing but buns. But it just kind of worked for me because I really wanted to take the time to understand my hair, to observe my hair, to see how it was taking in the moisture, to feel when it felt dry. What did that mean? So that was my reasoning for just kind of just doing buns, because I wanted to take the time to really understand my hair. But the hair schedule was very, very, very beneficial for me, and I definitely encourage you to stick to a hair schedule. Pull out your calendars on your phone, put it in your calendar every Sunday, the time that you're gonna start washing your hair, and outline what it is that you're gonna do. Whether you're gonna pre-poo, and then after pre-pooing, you're gonna wash, and then after wash, you're gonna condition, and then after condition, you're gonna deep condition. Line everything out and really hold yourself accountable, because it's very important that you are consistent, because without consistency, I'll be honest with you, you're not gonna get anywhere, okay? So, next tip, deep conditioning. Now, this component is very important, especially if you're suffering from heat damage or if you have relaxed hair. Now with me, I had both. You know, I had been relaxing my hair my entire life, and then back in 2009, I stopped relaxing it, and then I started doing the keratin. And then I was also straightening my hair, and I was going to the salon every week, you know, sometimes twice a week, you know, if I had stuff going on. So I was dealing with a lot of damage. It was just dead hair. So deep conditioning really helped restore my curls. Now, this component is very important to your natural hair, because deep conditioning overall helps replace moisture and vital proteins to your hair. So you want to make sure that when you are having your wash day, that deep conditioning is a component that you are being very consistent with. Now, while I was transitioning, I would sometimes deep condition twice a week if time allowed it. Time does not allow it now, but I am still deep conditioning once a week. And before, while I was transitioning, I was just deep conditioning, and then that was it. I didn't realize that it was important for me to sit under a dryer for at least anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. I do 30 minutes just because I just do 30 minutes. But you want to make sure that you are sitting under a dryer for 30 minutes. You need that heat to help open your hair follicles so that deep conditioner can really penetrate in your hair. It's very, very important. Now with deep conditioners, while I was transitioning, you know, I loved experimenting with different stuff. I loved using Shea Moisture. I loved using Palmer's. I loved using the Main Choice, but more importantly, I also loved doing my own DIY treatments. So I love mixing an avocado with some mayo, an egg, a little bit of honey, and then I would add olive oil, avocado oil, almond oil, argan oil, a little bit of cinnamon, and I would go ahead and do that treatment as well. That also helped with my hair. With that DIY treatment, I love so much. You know, I would do it bi-weekly, you know, but again, it just really depends on the state of your hair and, you know, what it is that your hair needs. You know, my hair seems to suck a lot of moisture, and my hair dries out very quickly. So when it came to deep conditioning, that was something that had to be consistent in my hair regimen, and I really encourage you to do the same thing as well. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now, protective styles. Now, protective styles are really, really helpful in your natural hair journey. My best friend, she and I started transitioning to natural about the same time. We're about like a couple of months apart, not too much. And what I really loved about her journey is that she was really big into protective styles. She was always doing braids. She sells wigs, so she was wearing her wigs and stuff like that, and she really rocked it, and it really worked for her. I didn't take the same approach just because I really wanted to understand my hair, and I felt like protective styling was going to take that away from me. I'm not discouraging you to do that. You know, do whatever makes you feel comfortable, but for me, the only protective style that I really did was, you know, I would wash my hair, moisturize it, braid it up at night, let it dry, and then in the morning I would just put it in a sleek low bun. And that was pretty much for me. I just wore buns every single day. It was super boring, but at the end of the day, in my mind, I had a bigger goal. There was a bigger picture, so I didn't mind looking crazy and having the same hairdo for a year because I knew it was going to be worth it, clearly. So, protective styles are beneficial while you're transitioning because your hair is already in a fragile state. You know, you don't want to be doing a lot with your hair. You don't want to be doing a lot of fussing. You definitely don't want to be adding any type of heat or chemical while you are transitioning. You know, that's something that you just kind of want to let go. But with protective styling, it really does help ease the transitioning because you're not always fidgeting with your hair or feeling any type of way about it. You can just kind of let your hair rest, you know, make sure that it's moisturized, and, you know, until you decide to wash again. Next, protein treatments. Now you can do a protein treatment weekly or bi-weekly, you know, depending on how much moisture, you know, your hair needs, and it just kind of goes back to what I just went in regards to the DIY treatments. That's when I would do my avocado treatment. I would do that bi-weekly. You can do it bi-weekly or monthly. I chose to do it bi-weekly. My hair seemed to love it. And so that's just kind of what I did to just kind of help strengthen my hair and help restore it. So it was really beneficial. A lot of the DIY treatments that I got, you know, I did a lot of research. I looked on Pinterest. I looked on right here on YouTube, seeing what other beauty curly girls were doing and just kind of see, you know, what worked for me. So it was a lot of experimenting that, you know, I did during transitioning, but that was actually really good because it forced me to take time to understand my hair. I think one thing with me is just that I have been relaxing my hair and going to the salon the majority of my life, and to be honest with you, I didn't really know much about my hair until I started this journey. So taking the time to experiment with products, to see what other curly beauties were doing, and to really be in my hair, understanding it, seeing what it was telling me, it forced me to learn about my hair because, you know, it was me doing it. So now, one thing about transitioning that I personally enjoyed, I enjoyed documenting my journey. Documenting my journey was really important, and then it's the next component that we're gonna go into. So you wanna make sure that you're taking pictures of your hair every time you wash it. I have a photo album in my iPhone, and it has tons and tons of pictures and videos throughout my hair journey. Every Sunday I would take pictures, I would document, I would compare what my hair looked like in March 2017 compared to what it looked like July 2017, and I was really seeing it different, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, I'm doing something right because I see the growth, I see the curls slowly starting to flourish, and that just kind of excited me more. You know, I focused less on how crazy I was looking, and I was focusing more on how well this journey was going for me. So you definitely want to go ahead and take pictures. You know, it definitely does help when you can visibly see your hard work and how it's affecting your hair in a great way. So that's something that I definitely recommend. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is staying away from all heat and chemicals. Now, I know that's not an easy thing to do. I definitely understand. to me, it was not easy. I did a lot of crying because I didn't know anything but having straight hair, straight long hair, and giving up heat was just, it was tough. When I thought of the idea in the beginning, it was just kind of like, what? Can I really do this? But in reality, it's something that you have to do in order to really restore your hair, to really put your hair back in the healthy state that it deserves to be. You have to give up heat. I know other girls where they'll transition and then maybe 6-7 months, they'll try to straighten their hair to see their growth. You kind of want to give up that mindset. You want to give up heat completely while you're transitioning. Personally, to me, it took a lot. It definitely took a lot, but after doing my research, I understood why I had to stop, why I had to just kind of give it up cold turkey, which I really did. I threw away my hair straightener. I stopped going to the salon, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna stop. If I'm really serious about this, I have to give this up. So that's definitely something that I definitely recommend for you to do. I feel like, personally, to me, because I've been natural for a little over 2 years, I feel like the reason I was able to achieve the amount of growth that I have achieved in the last 2 years has been because I have completely given up heat altogether. I have not straightened my hair. The last time my hair was straight was in January of 2017. That was the last time. I have no desire to straighten my hair ever again, just because, I grew up with my hair straight, and now I'm in this phase in life where it's like I really want to embrace myself. I really want to embrace the way God intended me to look, and I don't want to put my curls in that fragile state of straightening it and then dealing with heat damage from it. I feel like if I want to have straight hair, I'll put on a wig and that'll be the end of that. But this was a lot of hard work. So for me to take the risk of straightening it, it's just not something that I'm interested in. So if you are transitioning, I definitely recommend come to the reality of it and let go of all heat and all chemicals. Let's go to the next component. So the next thing that I wrote down here in my journal was, and this is probably one of the most important components, was staying mentally strong throughout your hair journey. Now, this journey teaches you a lot about being disciplined. It really does, because you don't really have somebody on your shoulder telling you, hey, it's Sunday, you gotta wash your hair. Hey, remember, you can't straighten your hair. You know what I mean? It's really up to you. So it really teaches you about staying disciplined and, more importantly, being consistent with your journey. Now, staying mentally strong is important, because the reality is that change won't happen overnight. I get a lot of messages on Instagram in regards to my natural hair journey, and I'll do like a then and now photo, and a lot of you guys will be like, what's the secret? And it's like, it's really no big secret. It's about being consistent with with washing your hair and being disciplined. I can't tell you how many times Sunday will roll around, and I may be a little hungover, or I'm tired, or I'd rather watch movies, and it's like, oh, I don't want to spend X amount of hours washing my hair, but I force myself to do it because, this is a lifestyle, and I know that if I don't do it, I don't want to go back to look like what I looked like back in 2017. So that's kind of like my motivation. But also, dealing with two hair textures can be very aggravating. I was upset all of 2017 because it was just like, yeah, I was seeing new growth and it was coming in, but I just looked wild crazy. Like, I didn't feel sexy. I couldn't wear my hair down. You know, it was just kind of like, you know, you would have this part curly and then this part is all stringy, and it was just kind of like, it was just getting harder and harder to wash, especially, you know, when it came time to detangling. So the frustration was definitely there. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was not happy with how I looked, you know. 2017 was a bit of a tough year just because I was in grad school, I was working full time, I had just gotten my braces, and then I doing this too. It was just kind of like everything was being thrown at me all at once, and it's like, how do I stay mentally strong? You know, how do I do this? And not a lot of people at the time knew what I was doing. Just very close friends and family, but you know, they were pretty much my support system, because they pretty much encouraged me to stay strong and to keep going. And I think it's an important component in regards to your transitioning journey, just because you're not going to feel the greatest. You're not going to feel the greatest. You just, you know, there was a lot of times where I felt a little depressed. I doubted myself. I was like, I look wild crazy. I've been looking wild crazy for the last 7 months. What am I doing? When are these curls gonna come in? When am I gonna stunt? You know, it was just kind of like, where's my glow up? And it's like, it'll get you, you know, you'll feel down. It's normal. It's normal to feel that way. But I'm here to tell you, like, keep going. Even through those rough patches that you're gonna deal with, just, sis, keep pushing, and know that your time is coming. But it's very important for me to speak about that, because when I first started transitioning, I didn't really see that aspect, you know. Yes, of course, I did my research and I tried to learn as much as I could from what it is that I can get on the internet, but I didn't see the rough part of transitioning. The rough part that I show on my page, I didn't really see a lot of that. So to me, it was important that when I was documenting my journey, that I was being true and I was really documenting what I look like. I look wild crazy. Shit was not looking right. Everything was a mess. But I just feel like it's important that you see that. It's important that you see that, because that's the reality that you're going to deal with. And it's not going to be pretty, but you have to understand that it'll be worth it. So, I know that when it comes to transitioning, there's just a lot of emotions that go in, and it's important that we talk about it, and it's important that you express them. And to me, you know, aside from my best friends who were there to really be that support system, I also wrote in my journal. I did a bunch of video journals that where, you know, I'm just kind of like talking to myself and just kind of expresses how I'm feeling and writing my feelings down and stuff like that, and then going back to really analyze it. It's like, oh, okay, this is how I was feeling, you know, this is why I was feeling this way, but it's important that I continue with this journey because of A, B, C, and D, and so on. So I think it's really important that, you know, if you are transitioning, you know, don't be afraid to document your journey. And more importantly, not only with pictures, but make sure you're jotting down your feelings and expressing how it is that you're feeling, and really go back to see those emotions so you can better understand, like, oh, wow, this is why I was feeling this way 5 months ago, but look where I am now. And it's just, it overall helps. It really helps, and I'm very grateful for it, and I encourage you to do it too. So let's go to the next one. Again, staying patient. Now, in order to be successful in your natural hair journey, you have to be patient. You have to. I don't have a lot of patience, especially when somebody's making my food and I'm super hungry and I want it right then and there. So trust me, I get it. but you have to have the patience. You have to find the will to stay patient, and more importantly, stay consistent. Now, like I expressed, change won't happen overnight. I wish it did. If it did, my hair would be down here by now. But a change won't happen overnight, and I think it's the reason why a lot of the times people quit their journey. Thankfully for me, I didn't have any setbacks, and this was just my first time transitioning. There's nothing wrong with having setbacks. It's life, it happens, you know what I mean? But for me, it was important that I really understood what it was that I was getting myself into to prevent having any setbacks. And patience is not something easy, but it's something that you have to find within yourself to have in order to be successful, in your journey. Because if you don't have the patience, you're not going to get very far with this, because there'll be times where you're just kind of like, washing your hair week after week after week, and you're not really gonna see them curls blossoming. You know, it took a year for me to actually see my curls. So understand that you have to be patient with this journey. And while you are being patient, please be gentle with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Understand that even though you're not seeing the instant change that you want, you are going to get there. But, you know, be kind to yourself. That's also very important, because I know sometimes, you know, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because we have to look a certain way, and we need to have this hair, and it needs to be popping and all this stuff. But it's like, don't beat yourself up. Know that you're doing what it is that you need to be doing so you can get where you get. But in the meantime, be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. So another component that I want to go ahead and discuss with you guys is you want to make sure while you're transitioning, you want to go ahead and make sure that you're keeping your hair moisturized. That's very important, especially dealing with the two textures. Your hair is already at a very fragile state, and because it's already at a fragile state, you want to make sure that you are being nurturing to that new growth that's coming in, and you're keeping your hair moisturized. Now, since your hair is pretty fragile, like I expressed while you're transitioning, you know, you want to make sure that you are not only keeping your hair moisturized, but you're checking in with your hair throughout the day to see how it feels. And I do that a lot. I do that till this day. In the mornings before I go to work, and I put my hair in a low bun or a low ponytail, I'm spritzing my hair. I usually like to take like a spray bottle. I like to take hot water, mix it with some conditioner, shake it up a little bit, and just spray my hair, and just feel it, and just be like, okay, hair's feeling moisturized, all that stuff, and put it up. Go to work, come home from work, when I'm taking off my makeup and doing my mask and stuff like that, you know, before I put my hair up, I'm like, all right, how did it went today? Is it moisturized? Does it feel a little bit dry? If it feels a little bit dry, anything like that, I go ahead, spritz it again, moisturize, put any cream that I should put, and then put my little bonnet to just kind of make sure that it's moisturized throughout the night. I did that heavily while I was transitioning, and that really helped me in my journey, just because I was not really dealing with a lot of dryness, because I made that component a priority every time I woke up in the morning, and definitely every time when I went to bed. So I encourage you to do that as well. The next component, number 10 actually, cutting off the damaged ends eventually. Now, when it comes to cutting my hair, I know when I used to wear my hair straight, I was not about cutting it. No trims, no nothing. Me? Cut it? No. I was just so afraid of letting go of the length that I would not do trims. So I just had, it was just like Splitville. Oh, it just everywhere. Just terrible. But when I transitioned, I knew that I had to cut. I just didn't know when I was going to do that. I knew that I had to, but I didn't know when I was going to do that. And the one thing that I can tell you about transitioning is that that's something that eventually you'll have to do, but when you do it, should be entirely up to you, you know, in regards to how comfortable you're feeling with that. Because I've seen a lot of curl beauties who, you know, decide that they go natural and they go straight and do the big chop, which I think that's great. And I applaud any queen that goes ahead and just big chops and embraces that. That's awesome. But I knew that for me, because I've never had short hair, I was not going to deal with that very well. I had to do things at my own pace, making sure that I felt comfortable, because at the end of the day, you know, this is your journey. You should do things on your own comfortable level. So with this, it's a tricky tip, it's a tricky tip, because I've seen videos where they encourage you not to wait too long to cut off the damaged ends, because it can cause more split ends. But like I was saying, but then again, I waited a full year before I decided to cut the remaining dead ends. However, I did trim my hair and I cut during my transitioning. I actually did a couple of mini chops before I did the actual full chop in February of 2018. So I definitely encourage you to just cut at your own pace as you see new growth coming in. And then when you feel comfortable with big chopping, then you should go ahead and do so. I feel like at the end of the day, you shouldn't feel pressure to do something that you're not comfortable with doing. So if you're not ready to cut, then sis, you're not ready to cut. Keep moisturizing, keep washing, do at least trim as new growth is coming in. But with the big chop, you know, you want to do that when you're completely ready. You know, for me, I was ready, and excuse me, I was ready after a year of transitioning, because after I hit that 1 year mark, you know, when I would go into my hair, I would feel my curls and I was like, oh my God. And I was always playing in my hair, always feeling my curls. I was like, wow, what it would look like. And, you know, I remember I had a bit of a section back here, and I would just chop a little bit, and I just saw the curls and I just got so excited. And literally one day after work, I was hanging out with a couple of coworkers. We went for happy hour, and I got home and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, why am I hanging on to this hair? I'm ready. And I big chopped right then and there, and it was the most liberating thing that I've ever did. I was so happy and I cried, but it was just like tears of joy. Like, I can't believe that I did it. And it was like looking at a new person in the mirror. I was like, wow, this is my crown. This is beautiful. So I definitely encourage you to do the big chop when you are ready. Also, my last tip that I want to go into, finding the right products while you are transitioning. Now, I want you to focus on finding products that are going to be nourishing and moisturizing to your hair. You know, for example, you want a moisturizing conditioner with a lot of slip from when you're detangling. You also want a great leave-in that's thick and moisturizing and won't let your hair go dry. That's been beneficial for me for my hair. You also want a cleansing shampoo that won't strip the natural oils of your hair. You'll have the time to experiment with products once you're fully natural. You know, I get a lot of question in regards to, oh, what products did you use to make your hair curly? And it's like, you know, while you are transitioning, because I made the mistake that when I first started transitioning, I went to the beauty supply store and I spent like $75, and I literally bought a bunch of stuff that I didn't ended up needing, because I just thought, oh, if I buy this curly smoothie, it'll make my hair curly. And if I buy this custard and I put it in, you know, I diffuse my hair and I go like this, you know, it'll make my hair curly. And it's like a lot of the products that I bought, you know, weren't really good for my hair. So if you are transitioning, you really want to just focus on the basics of transitioning, you want to make sure that you get a shampoo that's cleansing, that will remove any buildup from any products that you've put on during the week. I personally love using the Shea Moisture, the black castor oil one. That has to be my favorite. I love, love, love that shampoo. I put a lot of products in my hair, and I even did so when I was transitioning, because I tried a lot of leave-ins and stuff like that, and that shampoo is so great. It removes all the buildup, but what I love about that shampoo is that it doesn't leave my hair dry when I wash it off. When it comes to conditioner, because I have a lot of thick hair, I need a conditioner with a lot of slip, and more importantly, it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg. So I love using the Tresemme conditioner, the one that's for curly hair. And they also have one that's moisturizing, so I use that one too. And then of course I love using the Aussie conditioner. Love that stuff, and it's very affordable too, because I use a lot of conditioners, so that was important to me. So those are the two things that I did use. And now in regards to a leave-in, I love the Miel Organics pomegranate line. That is so great, and it smells amazing. And then I also love the African Pride, the cocoa leave-in. That smells so good, and it's so affordable. Around here where I live, it's like under $7, so it's like you really can't beat that. So you really want to focus on things that are going to be moisturizing, and you know, your time will come when it's time for you to experiment with gels and custards and smoothies and all these kind of things, and it's actually a lot of fun. But it's like, while you're transitioning, just focus on the basic to just kind of ensure that your hair is healthy, is washed, is clean, and of course, you know, promoting new growth. So those are the tips that I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys. I hope that the information that I provided you is beneficial. I definitely want to provide you with all the knowledge that I have obtained in the last 2 years to get my hair like this. I definitely want to be with you in your journey. I'll definitely be posting a lot more videos in regards to products and DIY treatments, and overall, you know, whatever it is that you guys may need. You know, if you guys have any ideas, or if there's a specific video that of course you guys would like me to touch on, you know, definitely leave a comment below. I love taking the time to answering to all of you guys, you know, not only here but on Instagram too. I get a lot of DMs, and you guys send me photos of your hair, what it's looking like, and what it is that you need. And I really enjoy, you know, responding to all of you, because again, I think it's really important that you do have that support, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. Make sure you, again, comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video, queens. Till then.